My name is Joshua Jacks. I'm part of the Quantic Executive MBA 2025 March cohort, and this is the Brompton case study. Today we will be talking about pricing strategies for Brompton post the United Kingdom leaving the Eurozone and returning to the British pound sterling, and the factors of price elasticity of demand, and whether or not in the long term Brompton should increase, decrease, or leave price unchanged. First and foremost, a brief overview of Brompton and their key product. The Brompton folding bicycle was invented by Andrew Ritchie in 1979 in London and has been made near London ever since. It is a unique product with a very well-designed titanium, British manufactured, British export bicycle. This leads to some unique factors in play for Brompton, in that while there are other folding bikes on the market available to consumers worldwide, there are 4 to 5 competing firms with similar design price taker in the market. Instead, they enjoy a premium to the market 3 to 4x depending on optional accessories that a user may decide to order. Of note, in 2015 they sold 45,000 units and again, what's very unique here as being a British heritage manufacturer with a cult-like following, this would put them in the realm of similar British manufacturers like Rolls-Royce and McLaren, just to name a few, who really sell themselves internationally on the strength of British heritage engineering. And this will be a unique factor as we look at pricing strategies going forward, place unlike their competitors who, again, following mostly the similar nature of the entire biking industry, are price takers at the prevailing rate in each individual market. So turning to the effects of Brexit, which is the colloquial term for the United Kingdom leaving the Eurozone and revert to the British pound sterling as the dominant currency. At the outset, it should be stated that the long-term effects of Brexit are still unknown. So this uncertainty is the pricing strategy adopted by Brompton. But what we do know, in the British pound is now trading at a deficit to the euro. So this weaker British pound will drive 2 key factors for Brompton. The first being a higher cost for internationally sourced materials, particularly the titanium used for the largest supplier of titanium to the market is Russia, who is currently under quite substantial embargoes and trade restrictions due to the war in Ukraine. On the flip side, the weaker pound means that for certain areas of Brompton's international customer base, and this should be noticed, a widely exported good, that weakness can allow for opportunistic and adversely lower priced commodity versions of folding bicycles available. British heritage cult-like following the Brompton has been able to garner since its first invention in 1979. Overall, the short-term effects of Brexit are favorable in terms of income elasticity of demand, because the increased buyer power of the Brompton customer is going to allow them to buy higher price brand Brompton. The potential elasticity of demand, particularly in the international markets around the world. And so it is important for us to understand what kind of demand we are pricing into. Overall, hybrid bicycles are expected to grow by 3.1% cumulative average growth rate in 20 and 23. Is expected 130 million units will be sold. Now, mind you, the 2015 production of Brompton was only 45,000 units, so they're a very small, ultra hyper tier of a very large and growing market. One of the key demographic shifts that we've seen in the hybrid to the very, very coveted under 40 demographic. For that demographic, it should be noted that folding bicycles are seen as a vehicle alternative in major cities for that last mile of transport. Say your commute to work, your commute to the coffee shop, where these bikes are particularly researched. It is a U.S. research firm that published a white paper on expected growth of both conventional and electric for the years of 2015 and 2025. And as you can see, a very solid trend line is the bulk of the Brompton offerings. So overall recommendation to Brompton, first and foremost, is key to protecting their long-term position is to continue to differentiate the brand as a status symbol on the very high end of folding bike manufacturers, and then to increase price. And increase price for two particular reasons. The first being there's going to be, at least in the short term and potentially in the long term, a large risk of volatility for raw material input cost and manufacturing cost. And then second, increased price to protect against volatility of the British pound post-Brexit. And then one watch out for the brand is to make sure that as they see their plan to increase production come to market, do not oversaturate current markets with too much supply, which would shift the supply demand curve and potentially have an impact on brand status. So currently in 45 markets internationally, it might be valuable for the company to look at what other large urban centers that are not currently supplied and expand into those to prevent saturation of the current markets. But again, overall recommendation is to continue as a differentiated brand on the high end. Do not fall victim to being like other suppliers, which are price takers, and increase price to protect against rising cost and volatility.